Hello and welcome to my review of Spider-Woman #1, an issue by Carlo Pacheco and Pere Perez. And I was looking forward to this issue. I am a Jessica Drew Spider-Woman fan, and I am not familiar with the writing of Carlo Pacheco. So I was wondering, okay, maybe this is somebody I can follow from now on. I want to see how she writes Jessica, how she gets the Spider-Woman down. And hopefully this is an issue that has something special that is going to be big for people, not just Jessica Drew fans, but people in general. And we can have a hit on our hands and everybody can be happy. We'll see if that's the case. We start off with a page that pretty much gives you a recap of who Jessica Drew Spider-Woman is. She's been an Avenger, a spy, a detective. She's been a lot of things, including a mother. She has no money now. All these things going on, and it looks great. Pere Perez's art throughout this issue is great. The only thing that's weird about this is it really says verbatim what you got on the credits page in the little recap section that Marvel does, but that's fine. I like seeing it as well. As you go, though, the story is based around Jessica taking a job being protection on a boat, like T-Pain used to sing, for a Super Sweet 16 for Rebecca. And Rebecca's there having her party. She is ultra, ultra, ultra rich. So because her father has a ton of money, she always is. People are trying to kidnap her all the time. Now, that's a fun setup, the fun setup of a superhero costume party. Yeah, that's fun, especially with Jessica there in her costume, new costume. But the thing is, it's a Sweet 16 for an ultra-rich girl. Having a superhero costume party seems very odd, seems very forced. I know anybody can have any sort of costume party, or any party, but Sweet 16 ultra rich costume party seems set up as a forced deal, though you do get a couple funny things out of it where you get the OG Spider-Woman here dressed up, making fun of Jessica's costume, saying it's terrible, it's a terrible Spider-Woman costume. Little does she know that she's right on the money, because this whole issue pretty much is centered around the idea that this costume is terrible. Something's wrong with it, and it's making Jessica violent and kind of a jerk. But everything is interrupted by a bunch of sailors who are bad guys there. So they were on the boat. They end up being the bad guys. Where is the Steven Seagal Under Siege joke here? Where is what is this, Under Siege 4? Sweet 16, is that a joke, people? I don't know. But where is it? Because you're going here, and it is a cool deal where you're just pretty much setting up just a fight. You're setting up a big battle. The set pieces are there, and it's just Jessica going to town and fighting these guys. Pretty cool. At one point, she grabs the Captain America kid shield, uses that to barang a guy right upside the face, and doing some pretty cool attacks. You got the chocolate fountain in the guy's face. That's going to cause, a mark. But then while this is going on, you take a timeout. This is still in the fight. There's still bad guys here. You take a timeout for the kid dressed up as Sombrero Deadpool to show that really he's dressed up as piece of shit Deadpool, because he says, I knew I shouldn't have come to the stupid cripple's birthday party. My parents are going to sue all of you. Why do we have this? Why is this kid in the middle of the fight just being awful? It does nothing for the issue. It seems to be played off later as a joke, and it doesn't play off well at all. To me, it's just nonsense. It just ends up bringing everything to a screeching halt to see that there's a 16-year-old boy who's a piece of shit. Well, here, truth be told, there's a lot of 16-year-old boys, a lot of 16-year-old girls. There's a lot of pieces of shit in this world. This doesn't prove anything. It doesn't help the story. It doesn't do anything. And I'm not even saying this coming from anybody on any side of any sort of gate fight, anything. Just stops the issue for no reason and is annoying, because then Jessica says, you're not a swim kid. And he goes, and I'm not even going to, I'll play it all out. Listen, bitch, I'm the junior captain of the diving team and then she throws him in the water. So she ends up throwing piece of shit Deadpool kid into the ocean, throws him a life preserver. Yeah, the costume ends up being something that is affecting her a little. But at this point, we don't know that. We don't even know at the end if that's why this is. She's just throwing a piece of shit into the ocean. But he is a 16-year-old or younger, whoever knows, into the ocean where who knows what could happen. And it just doesn't play out right. It's not fun. It's not funny. And then her joke then is, if you're going to wear that costume, you should really look into a dance belt. I mean, really? That's the joke? I mean, at least just say something off the hand of like, hey, I thought the real Deadpool was a piece of shit. I mean, that's 10 times better than a dance belt. So you end up then continuing the fight because the fight's still going on. We had to stop her piece of shit Deadpool kid. You end up where she says, okay, well, now I'm not going to hold off at all. I'm not going to be reasonable. I'm going to kick the crap out of these guys, which she does. And this is where I said earlier, you have a set piece, Sweet 16, car given to Rebecca, though she gets upset because it's not accessible. But you had the car there, Sweet 16, and that is the set piece deal of now I can start the car and run it into the boat as these guys get away and it explodes. The thing is, though, because Rebecca is so rich, how do you think she got so rich? There's a lot of people that are trying to kidnap her, including what then is right away Frenchman in a helicopter. Jessica yells to Mr. March and, hey, everybody trying to kidnap your daughter? Pretty much. And this then leads to more action, cool action, great art. But with all this, we're not really getting much of Jessica. And in fact, Jessica is progressively starting to act worse and worse. Again, we find out later that it's possibly because of the suit, but still, it's not playing out well for a first issue to kind of dupe people into seeing a piece of crap Jessica deal with pieces of crap. And so she jumps into the ocean, trying to get away from this helicopter, and there's Deadpool. There's piece of shit Deadpool kid again, who ends up saying, what do you think you're going to do? She's like, I'm going to save everybody. You're not going to die. I'm going to be the... And he's like, huh, what do you know? You're a girl. As he's crying. And she's like, are you kidding me, you little... Really? And so there's the continuation of, why are these fights stopping in the middle for piece of shit Deadpool kid to be sexist and awful and awful? It does not play out well for me. You end up then where Jessica does then get back to the fight, and then it's fun again. She ends up grabbing the anchor out of the ocean, ends up throwing it around the helicopter, and then throws the helicopter into the ocean there. I love the art, but this progression of her doing this with the helicopter, I wish that you would have had more of a view of it. It ended up being very close. And at one point it was a little teeny bit confusing for a second. I think it would have played out better with a wide screen shot there, but that's just me. Then you get piece of shit Deadpool kid again, because they're still fighting. And she ends up grabbing the kid and throwing him into the bad guys. And again, this is her dialogue. And if I ever hear you say cripple or sexist shit again, I'm tossing you by the dick. That's what she says to a 16-year-old. Again, this is probably the suit, but I see her saying it on here. This is not endearing me to the character, a character who I love. I don't need her saying this stuff and doing this stuff. Especially she's there doing a job because she's so desperate for money, and then she's just being a piece of crap. But it seems as if it is the suit that's playing that off. But it seems as she's going, she seems getting sick a little. She's having problems. And then it just ends with her puking out just toxic venom on the deck of the boat. And maybe T-Pain's still saying that he's on a boat. But so you have all this. That's the first part. There are two parts because we have a flashback to show us what led to all this. Now, again, as we go into that, I'm not so sure that you needed a mystery set up that, oh my, we see Jessica suit being bad, blah, 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 and then going back to the beginning to show you that there's something wrong with the suit. Some mysterious figure is at play here. I think that maybe if you want to set up this character, especially for new readers, have it progress in time like it should, so that you see as she goes on that she might be being bad and might be being over violent because of the suit. I don't think it plays out as well here. You don't really need a mystery in the first issue where people are trying to gauge what the character's about and if Carla Pacheco can write it. But you do see her in her suit there, the normal deal where she's like, I need money. She ends up with Strike Force. She can't even get an Uber all the way home. She can't afford it. So the whole thing with her husband, you even see her baby in one scene where her baby's crawling on the ceiling. She's dancing on the ceiling like Lionel Richie. But yeah, she needs money, so she takes this protection job. But to do that, she says, well, I'm not going to do this job for pay in this suit, so I'm going to go get a new suit. You know, you almost think that she's trying to say, I'm not going to go dressed up as Spider-Woman. I'll take the job as Jessica Drew. But instead, she goes to get a new suit. Again, something forced to get us into that new suit. And it does not make total sense of a Spider-Woman doesn't want to do a job for pay in the Spider-Woman costume, so she gets a new Spider-Woman costume and then even says to the kids, I'm Spider-Woman. I don't get it. But yeah, she goes to Big Ronnie's Custom Battle Spandex, which if you are a Gwenpool fan, which I am, that's a cool deal. Though Ronnie seems to be getting duped or seems to be into something here. And if you don't know, Ronnie made Gwenpool suit, but also it's said to make Spider-Man, Daredevil, Cap, all these guys' suits. So you have that. But you end up with Jessica going and getting the suit. She can't afford it. She even says, is there a payment plan? Ronnie says no. And then, okay, nothing's resolved there. And then Jessica just sight unseen takes the suit, puts it on and goes off. And it's just, again, a lot of things in this issue are forced to get you to the next place. And then it doesn't really play out as well as it should anyway. But yeah, because of all that, I am still going to give it a 7.5. You end up with a cliffhanger at the first part of the story where Jessica ends up throwing up the vomit venom deal. Where you see that a cool character is going to be coming up. So I'm looking forward to that. And there is enough here that I want to continue. This isn't one of those issues where I'm sitting there like, oh man, it's all awful. I hated piece of shit Deadpool kid. There's no reason for him to be in this issue except just to cause, I don't know, you to be uncomfortable. To make you smirk or shake your head. There was no reason. And but I still love the character, and I want to see. You end up with a big cliffhanger of a guy in the shadows who's setting up the suit deal. I want to see what that's all about. I kind of have my ideas of who or what it might be, but that's fine. But yeah, so I am looking forward to the next issue. I hope that it plays out better. If we get an issue that continues to have scenes interrupted by just nonsense, just to have pieces of shit there, I'm going to be done. I will be done. But other than that, Perry Perez's art is outstanding. It's great throughout the whole deal. So that's why I'm going to give it a 7.5. I could go as low as a 7, but I'll stick with the 7.5 here and hope for the best. But thank you for listening and watching my review of Spider-Woman, and I hope it does get better, and I hope that it is something that I'm excited for each time it comes out, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. A lot of big books coming out this week, so I'll have a bunch of video reviews for them as well, including the Outlawed book. That is the big deal that I'm worried might change my young heroes into miserable people, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes, but thanks for listening. If you like the video, it'd be great if you would subscribe to the channel. Also, look in the description of the video where there's all sorts of links to everything Weird Science, sites, podcasts, all that sort of thing. All that stuff. Oh my. As you can hear, this is not scripted. I'm just going through these things and just going on the seat of my pants. Hopefully I have a dancing belt, right? Oh my. But yeah, thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later.